recording, and here we go. And get ready to think. So good day, everyone. I'm Travis Given. I'm the Assistant Director of Online Programs. Thank you for joining us, or thank you for tuning into this recording of the Middle Grades in Education Graduate Certificate Information Session. While everyone is getting started, and we had folks introduce themselves briefly, but just if you could keep yourselves on mute at least until the end, we'll have plenty of time for Q&A. If you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat. We have plenty of people here on the call that can help answer those. And then we'll probably could repeat some of those questions at the end, so it's on the recording for everybody watching this back later, so that others get some insight from the questions that are asked. Also, I know I've said this already, but just as a reminder, this recording this session is being recorded, and we'll send out to everybody about 12 hours after we're done. So it'll go out sometime in the middle of the morning, and you should have it in your email inbox for you tomorrow to watch again if you would like to. With that said, I know we had folks introduce themselves already kind of verbally, but if folks want to introduce themselves in the chat, that would be great. Also, I have quick 2 polls for people, 1 poll here at the start, just to let us know a little bit about folks and give us some input. And then I have a poll down at the end of the presentation to let us know how things did, so that we can continue to try and make sure that these information sessions best serve everybody. With that,
Sorry,
some
Travis,
people.
I think this is the poll at the end.
It is. There we go. Thank you. With that, there's some folks that are in the chat here to answer your questions. Those of us in online programs are happy to help. You can see myself, Travis Giffen. We have Brianna Davis, online student advisor, and we have Sangeetha Gopalakrishnan, the assistant dean for online learning and innovation online programs, here with us also. If you reach out to ask us questions via email, you might also get to interact with Gina Poff, and if you are a student, you definitely will probably be interacting with Gina, as she has a lot of help also. With that, just to give folks a little bit of heads up for this information session, we'll be focusing on online middle grades and education graduate certificate. We'll talk about eligibility, program structure, admissions, and career paths. If you have questions about any of our other programs, or if you have any other questions that pop up during this presentation, you can reach us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu. We're happy to answer those questions anytime for you. With that, we have 2 guests with us today. We have Sarah McCarthy, who will be talking about the program, and then Jill Donnell, who will be talking about transcript review. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Sarah to talk a little bit about the program.
All right, good evening. So in this program, it's an additional credential program. What you'll earn are graduate credits, and these are what we call transcribable. So this will appear on your transcript, and that will read middle grades education. These credits are stackable, and that means that you can also apply these towards a master's degree. In fact, the way we've set this up, with only 3 additional courses, you may get the master's degree. And I know for many of you, that provides a bump on the pay scale. The program is also eligible for financial aid. So we hope that you will keep that in mind as I talk a little bit more about the program. Now, our target audience for this program is students who already have a bachelor's degree and that you're working in schools in some capacity, and you're specifically interested in getting a license and teaching in the middle school classroom. So in Illinois, that's grades 5 through 8. As I mentioned, we're hoping that you're also interested in pursuing a master's degree eventually in your lifetime. So the program is offered through the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, and our overall mission is to address critical issues of learning, teaching, social justice at global and local levels. And the department emphasizes preparation and continuing professional development in early childhood, elementary, secondary teachers, and teacher educators. And that secondary teachers, of course, includes middle grades educators. So we have designed this program as an 18-month program, which means that there's a very heavy summer course period. So these courses are designed to be 4 weeks long, and they are a kind of morning and afternoon for 4 weeks. Then there's a break, and this year that's particularly designed around the 4th of July. And then there are 2 more 4-week sessions. Then in the fall, the classes are 16 weeks long, and that's because they are very much like our on-campus program. However, these courses are offered in a way that will be accessible to you. If you live near campus and want to join one, you could. Otherwise, we would make online arrangements for you for the fall class. The spring class is the 404 class, which you would do that is offered online, and it's in conjunction with your student teaching. So the classes are offered in a weekly synchronous session. We really like the opportunities for students to be able to interact on Zoom. The fall and spring classes, that's the evening, but the summer classes, those are during the day, 9 to 11:50 and 1 to 4 p.m. We do set up attendance policies, but that's up to the professor. Sometimes there might be an asynchronous aspect to the class. So there are some variations. Your student teaching would be in a middle grades classroom. So for many of you, that would be in the setting that you are in now. So the idea is that you can just use your current setting for your student teaching. So here's the schedule that makes a little bit more sense in terms of what I talked about. That for summer, with these 2 4-week sessions, the morning, the afternoon course, the fall schedule, and then the spring, as I mentioned, the student teaching and classroom and methods course. Now, the second summer is where you would take a special education course, and we have a course in language varieties to really think about serving our emerging bilingual students. And those courses will be offered in the second summer. So that would be summer of 2025. So these are a lot of course numbers that are kind of thrown at you, but this is available to you to get more specific descriptions of what the courses are. But as you can see, there is a real focus on the middle school with the instruction philosophy and structures. We have the language varieties classes, and then we offer 2 literacy courses, one that's focused on reading and one that's more about multiliteracies and literature that uses very up-to-date theories and pedagogy. The EdPrac courses are the kinds of experiences that you have in your classrooms with students. And then the early adolescents, we think it's important that our students really have some opportunities to learn about theories of how adolescents develop. And we have the SPED course. Going back to the 402, the Teaching Diverse Middle Grade Students, that's a content-specific course. So we offer that in English and for science. We're really hoping to get some more science teachers and to get people who are able to teach in a variety of middle grades content areas. So there's the way we've designed the program currently is that there's the focus in literacy and science. And because the 402s are offered at different times, it's possible for you to actually get a concentration in both those subject areas if you have some background in each of them. You can also just concentrate in one of the areas alone. And as mentioned, that coursework leads to licensure to teach in grades 5 through 8. So here we have some ideas about opportunities to teach science in middle grades, teach literacy in middle grades. And we know that often principals are looking for students who can teach in more than one area.
So I think this is my slide. We're very excited that you're here tonight hearing about this program. And one of the things that I'll be doing is just coming alongside you and looking at what you've already done. We're very excited that you're probably bringing in some coursework that is needed for the Illinois licensure standards, because that undergirds everything that we're doing. So what I'll do, if you are interested, you can forward your unofficial transcripts to me, and I can look at those transcripts to see what the coursework looks like leading into this program. For instance, maybe your particular degree, you have some science coursework, so we might, tailor this more towards the science endorsement. Or if you've done literacy, different kinds of writing, composition, rhetoric, those kinds of courses, we can count as what you need for the fulfillment of this literacy portion of the certificate. And what I'm looking for in particular is Illinois licensure standards. We usually, in a 4-year degree towards a license, there are a lot of requirements that the state has. And so we want to give you credit for as many of those things as we can, so that you truly are only having to take the coursework that is in this particular program. So what that means for you, we will be reviewing your transcript, looking to see if you have any additional courses that you might need to take before you can really jump into this particular program. I've reviewed 2 people's already, and one of them didn't have any extra coursework to do leading into the program, and one had 2 courses that they would need to do to get those Illinois licensure standards squared away that is needed, that are not necessarily embedded in this particular program. So the benefit for you is the master's, right? That even if you have that one course, maybe 2 courses of content, and then you get into these courses, you still end up with a master's for just a smaller number of courses at the end of it, with this endorsement as well. So I know that sounds a little confusing. And I am more than happy to, first of all, meet individually by Zoom and talk through your transcript with you, or you can send it to my email address, which I'll drop in the chat. I will also give you my cell phone number, because if you just prefer to talk through it, that's great. We can set up a time to do that, and it'll make more sense looking at your transcript in relation to this program and making it as easy as possible. So I'm very excited to work with you. and looking forward to the opportunities. And I'm very excited you're here tonight and that we have people wanting to teach middle school. I taught middle school language arts for a few years before I went into administration and absolutely loved it. So I'm going to drop that information in the chat and then we can connect and start that process if you're interested.
So I'm going to just briefly talk about the admission and application process. Admissions are handled through the graduate college application. So if you're interested in pursuing this program and you decide that you'd like to move forward with it, you will begin by submitting a graduate college application. As a part of that process, you will attach an up-to-date copy of your resume or CV, and you will also provide us with copies of your previous transcripts. So those are going to be the three things, the three pieces that are required of this application process. There is no application fee, and we don't require, for this particular program, we don't require letters of recommendation or anything like that. So the application process is a relatively simple process, and you should already have your transcripts ready to go since you'll be working with Jill to have those reviewed, which is great. The application process is kind of a two-part, or the application review process rather is kind of a two-part process. So first, your application will be reviewed by the College of Education, and from there, if an admission offer is recommended, it will then be reviewed by our graduate college. So if you are recommended for admission to our program, you'll receive notification from both the College of Education and the graduate college, just to kind of let you know how that works. You can apply at the link here. It's choose.illinois.edu/apply. We can also put that link in the chat as well for your ease. And the deadline for application for our summer 2024 intake is March 15th. So if you have any questions about the application or admissions process, you can certainly reach out to us and we are happy to answer any questions that you might have. With regard to tuition and financial aid, the current cost of the program is going to be $510 per credit hour. There are no additional fees for our online students, so it's $510. You may have additional costs for textbooks and course materials. Those costs will vary based upon the course, but tuition is subject to change, so just something to keep in mind. With regard to financial aid, full-time status for financial aid requires that you take a minimum of 6 credit hours per semester. For your reference, that's about 2 courses per semester. So as long as you're taking 2 courses per semester, you will qualify for federal financial aid. If you are in need of full-time status for other purposes, it's going to be 12 credit hours per semester. So sometimes if you're on some sort of like a tuition reimbursement program or something like that, you may have to have full-time status for a different purpose. So just know that there are 2 different classifications, but if you just need full-time status for financial aid reasons, it's going to require 6 credit hours per semester. If you do have financial aid questions, we do recommend that you contact the University of Illinois Student Financial Aid Office directly. They're going to be able to give you really clear-cut information about steps that you need to take to secure financial aid and better understand your options. So I do recommend that you contact them directly. They can be reached at finaid@illinois.edu.
So this is me. So we have at least maybe 4 or 5 individuals in the room that were hoping to interest in this program. So you may have heard some wonderful information, and you may be wondering, why would I choose to study at the University of Illinois? So I wanted to give you some final thoughts to keep in mind. So we are a top-tier research university. And we've been ranked in the top 10 for our online master's programs for several years now by US News and World Report. We are affordable as a top-tier research university. That is something we're very proud of. We're affordable while also being top-tier. And you will be taught by world-class faculty. Dr. McCarthy here has won several awards. And she's been here a very long time at the University of Illinois. She's very knowledgeable. We have other wonderful faculty that you will be interacting with. We focus on online student engagement in our online courses. We really think about it a lot. You will be interacting with peers who have rich and diverse backgrounds. So you will benefit from that interaction as well. And our online students have access to many of the resources that our on-campus students have. For example, the University of Illinois library system, which is considered one of the best in the country. And as you have probably gathered from our conversation this evening, there are several people that are willing to support our online students from different offices and different units. So you will not be alone or always just a phone call or an email away, and we're invested in your success. So you will see that when you come to us. So I hope you'll think about all the information you've heard tonight and think about enrolling in our middle grade cert program.
And just a reminder that applications are open now. I'll get that application link dropped in the chat here shortly. But if you have any questions that didn't get answered tonight or that you think of later, you can always reach us by email at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu. We're happy to answer those questions or get you connected to anybody who might be able to answer those questions. Thanks for putting that information in about the application there in the chat, Brianna. And with that, we're now to the point in the time for Q&A. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your chat using the Zoom feature. We also have a small enough group here. You could probably unmute yourself and ask that question away, or you can type it in the chat, and I'm happy to ask that out to everyone on your behalf.
Do you mind, Gary, if I put you on the spot for just 1 second as a regional superintendent, would you mind sharing what you find beneficial about this program or why you are here tonight?
Sure, not a problem. Well, to be honest with you, I've been after the U of I for a few years now to get something online for people like you in the profession that are working during the day and need a way to get additional accreditation. We know that we're short of teachers throughout the state and especially in this area. And I think this is a nice option for people. It kind of meets the need that we've been looking for. And I'm happy to be here and happy to help. And when it comes to licensure, when you get through the program, if you have any questions, I drop my email in the chat. Our licensure specialist in our office is one that most of the other offices around our area call to get help with. So Jen Dirks will be more than happy to help you. But please, if you need anything, reach out to us and reach out to me. I can be your contact and we can go from there. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
We had one question that came in here in the chat. Is this program only for certification in areas of science and literacy?
So far, that is the way that we design the program. All of the courses except for that 402 would apply to all of the other concentrations. We haven't sent, for instance, social studies and math forward to the Illinois State Board of Education. But those specific methods classes for social studies and math are, developed because our undergraduates take those. We would just have to have more conversations about what it would take to get the concentrations in the other areas. Jill, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered it really well, Sarah. That I can't think of anything else that we would need to share. We
know that science teachers is is definitely a high need area. So that's one of the reasons that we developed the concentration in science.
Sarah, I don't know if this may be relevant, but I don't know if someone like John may be interested in hearing about the computer science endorsement.
Mm. So the computer science endorsements is specific to people who already have an initial license. So for instance, if anybody on the call is licensed to teach in really any content area, the endorsement is to teach computer science in grades 5 through 12. And that program is completely online as well. And that follows a bit more of a traditional schedule in that it does start with a summer course, and then there are courses offered throughout the year online as well.
Thank you for that. I see we got a hand raised, and while you're asking your question, I'm just gonna launch our end of session poll. No need to answer it until you get ready to leave.
But I had a quick question. I'm currently living in Minnesota, so if I were to enroll in any of in the program, how my question is tuition wise. Is that, am I considered to be an out of state since it's an online program? Does the tuition rate change for me, or it's just a flat?
We only have good
I-
news for you, Rodrigo. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Sangeeta. I don't want to steal it. Go ahead.
So that is one of our, we're very proud we have the same tuition for in-state and out of state. So it will be the same rate. You won't have to pay anything more because you're out of state.
No, that's great to hear. In addition, are most of the, am I understanding correctly, all the classes are online? Is that correct?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, that's great to hear. I guess I'm interested in just a little bit more because I'm a current social studies middle school teacher, but my master's background is in creative writing.
Mhm.
And so in addition to that, I coach way too much sports for the middle school. But, I actually just got back from practice, so that was so one of my things is I just want to be able to, get the certification credits that I need, and see how that might be able to push me up a tier here in Minnesota, for certification here, so I can be one of those most wanted teachers that can teach in different varieties and have certain certifications, and somehow make a good living out of everything else. But yeah, and so I'm looking forward just to know that information is going to be emailed out, in addition to where I can send my transcript to be reviewed and just kind of give it an idea, and then go on from that. But I wanted to thank you for putting this together. It's been very helpful.
So Rodrigo, just a follow-up, are you thinking that you would want to go through the entire program with all the summer courses, or were you thinking, or were you asking about the possibility of just taking some of the courses that would count towards your own interests in Minnesota?
That's a good question. I'd have to excuse me, follow up with my supervisor and the executive director of the school that I currently work for, just to be able to check in with what are some of those requirements in order to be able to push me up a tier. If that means more master graduate level courses, or with this certification program, if I were to enroll fully into it, would that be enough to be able to do that? So
Okay.
that's what I'm looking for. I mean, I like to go all in,
Right.
Right.
I was just thinking we probably could provide some flexibility in terms of
Oh, yeah, if that's an
enrollment of
option, I
courses,
will look into that as well. But like again, I'm interested in the idea of just how this is focused in middle school, which is where I'm currently teaching at, and how it focuses on sciences and literature, which is those two things that I've kind of sort of dipped into. So
Great, thank you.
I will just put a plug in here for middle school teachers in general. Here in Illinois, the state changed some licensure bans a few years back, and it created a real need for middle school teachers. It cut out a segment of people who had ordinarily been getting those licenses. And so we are thrilled to be able to offer something that not only does it help our teacher shortages and here in Illinois and other states too for middle level education, but it also gives you a nice pathway for a master's. And Rodrigo, you mentioned you have a master's around language arts, literacy, that sort of thing. I think that this could be a really nice fit also if you wanted to get that license the way Sarah was talking about it. And I just want to explain one more time, I'm happy to look at your transcripts and things before you actually apply. And so
Okay.
you would know going in for all of you what it really means, you know, what you would need to be doing and that sort of thing before you go through that whole process.
And for my transcripts, would you just need my master's transcript, or were you looking for bachelor's as well too?
I just to see whatever coursework you've taken, and they can be unofficial for me to look at.
Okay. All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you for the questions. And yeah, so Rodrigo had mentioned for those anybody watching back afterwards, we'll have the PowerPoint slides sent out to folks along with the recording. Any other questions from folks?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Hi again, everybody. Well, my case is kind of different. Right now I am seeking the certificate, of course. This is why I'm in the program in the first place. But I kind of want to go ahead and, you know, if I can do the entirety of the program and obtain the master's as well, that'd be great. Right now, I graduated from Western Illinois University, where I obtained a Bachelor of Arts in African American Studies and also a post-baccalaureate certificate in African American Studies as well. And I'm in this program because I've been in the classroom for 3 years now, teaching 8th grade science and Black studies, and I kind of just want to, you know, more than just about the bump in pay and everything, but just to have more opportunity to work and maybe in another middle school, or, you know, just complete my tenure at UMS. So, in being in this program, I'm right up the street. So being able to use the resources at U of I, and, you know, being right down the street, man, it's just, you know, it's a blessing. So my question is I know the young lady was explaining earlier about the application process. Now, is there kind of an overall application process, or is there just something centered to this program? Like, what would I need in order to make sure I have everything together for the 15th?
So for the application, you'll click on, if you click on the link that I dropped in the chat, and I can drop that again, it kind of highlights what is required for that application. On that page, you'll see an application to the Graduate College's application. You'll fill that out. It's set up in like your traditional form application setup. And then it will prompt you to attach an up-to-date copy of your resume. And then you'll also provide us with unofficial transcripts in order to be considered for admission. Now, in order to complete more than one semester's worth of coursework in the program, you will need to submit official transcripts. But for the application process itself, you do not need official transcripts. We'll accept unofficial transcripts for that initial application. So if you are able to contact Western and get a hold hold of those unofficial transcripts, or if you want to go ahead and have official transcripts sent right away, you can certainly do that. But that is kind of the extent of the application process. There's no entrance exam, so we don't require anything like the GRE. We don't require letters of recommendation. There's no application fee. So the application process itself should be a pretty simple process. So
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome to hear. That's really good to hear. Because
We tried to make this more accessible to people who have busy lives in the classroom and may not have the opportunity to, get letters of recommendation in a timely way.
Yes, ma'am.
Or to, spend too much time on writing a personal statement.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
That if you're
Mhm.
interested in this program, and you want to work with middle school kids, that we can find a way to serve you and help you achieve that.
Yes, ma'am. This is awesome. Thank you.
So, Jesse,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
hope you had said that you would like to continue to a master's degree, and we hope
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will do that. When you're at that point, then you'll have to submit an application for the master's degree, and that will have some other steps to take. So, and you'll need recommendation letters and stuff like that, but that's for the
Yes, ma'am.
master's degree. For the
Yeah.
certificate program, as everybody else said, we've kind of
Streamlined.
yeah, streamlined, and the barriers are very very low, we hope. And again, Jill's offer to review transcripts, even that's also another attempt at even further reducing any potential barrier to entering the certificate program.
And if
Yes,
you
yes, yes.
decide to move forward with this program, and you decide as you progress that you want to move forward with the masters, we won't let you forget about any important processes or anything like that. So we'll be in touch with you. We'll make sure that you
Thank
have
you.
all your ducks in a row so that way we can move forward. So don't fear not. We're here with you.
Yeah, because honestly, and to be honest, I don't want to hold everybody, but it is, coming from Western to U of I, it's a little intimidating, and it's such a prestigious school, and like I said, I grew up in the area. I've always come to campus. I have a lot of friends that attend U of I. Actually, the missus is in a program at U of I as well. She's finishing her master's degree, and she teaches sixth grade math. And it's kind of intimidating, but you guys are a big help, and you're making me feel a lot more confident as a teacher, as a leader. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And thank you for all the kind words.
No problem.
Yeah. Any other questions from folks? If not, you can always reach us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu, and we will be happy to answer those for you. I'll do another last call here for questions.
In the aspects of unofficial transcripts, is if I, for example, weird question, because I had to get some recently, but physically printed. If I scan those and I just send them to you, Jill, is that okay?
Yes, that would be fine with me. And then Brianna's office is just down the hall for me. And so anything else that would be needed, I can chat with her, but that would be great to get started.
Okay, thank you so much.
Same here, Miss Jill. I do have my unofficial transcripts right in front of me, actually, electronically.
Yep.
If you don't mind, I can send you that right away so we can kind of get that ball rolling.
Yep, that would be great. And
Yes, ma'am.
I did drop my email there in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
Travis.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you everybody for attending. This recording will get sent out to you if you think of it. If you want to watch that back later, and to all of you who weren't able to join us, we hope that that recording is useful for you. And again, you can always reach us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu. We're happy to connect you with Jill if you have transcript questions or things like that, or answer any other questions you may have about the program. And we hope you consider applying and joining us for this program this summer. Take care, everyone.
All right.
It's nice meeting you
Thanks
all.
so much. Great to meet you all.